Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique together. That's the call. Come, let us build this place we call home, because if we do not put our hands to the plow, or to the hammer, or to the saw, or to the spade, or to something that is useful, no one else will do it for us. We have to build this place we call home. So I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour. I have been on a break, more or less, for 3 days, 4 days or so, but I'm back after the carnival. It was really a wonderful time to meet, greet, have fun, but we have to get back on that journey where we can have a robust intellectual conversation using radio, social media to connect. So Facebook, YouTube, Vibes 101.3 FM and 106.3 FM. I want to say to you that I am very excited to be back to continue educating, continue disseminating information to you, to empower you, to make you more knowledgeable, and also to motivate you, to bring a little joy in your little space wherever you are. I want to say to you, I am committed to that task. We have a lot to discuss this morning, and this morning's program will go until 9:30. So normally we would wrap up at 9, but because we have so many things to talk about, it will go until 9:30 this morning. I want to encourage you to share the program. Some people underestimate the power of sharing the program on Facebook in particular. YouTube, yes, you can share it on WhatsApp. You can also share the link on Facebook on your page. But it is important for you to share the program. When you share the program, your friends, your colleagues, they get the opportunity to view, to be a part of the conversation. So sharing the program is very, very important. I can give you a typical example. When you, in the last, let's say, 5 or 6 programs, you actually shared the program more than before, and we had more viewership than before, and it was consistent. So it's so important to share. So for example, the last program I did, 135 people shared the program. The one before that, 166 people shared the program. The one before that, 136 people shared the program. The one before that, 117. The one before that, 179 people shared the program. And I can tell you, if you look at the stats, all you need to do is to look at the stats. More you share the program on your page, more people view, more people get to discover the program. So I'm saying to you, it's very, very important that you share it. So, for example, the last program I did, 13,200 people viewed that program. The one before, 14,500 people viewed that program. The one before, 15,000 people viewed that program. The one before that, 10,300 people viewed that program. The one before that, 18,600 people viewed that program. The one before that, 10,200 people viewed that program. The one before that, 8,200 people viewed that program. The one before that, 7,300 people viewed that program, right? The one before that, 8,600 people viewed that program. But I'm only saying, more you share the program, is more people we get to view and to follow. And that's just on Facebook. On YouTube, we had 2,000 something people, 3,000 something people, 3,000 something people, 2,000 something people. On YouTube, that's kind of different, right? I don't focus heavily on YouTube. I focus on Facebook. But I am saying all of this to say to you, you are playing a very important role. You may underestimate the role that you play in sharing the program, but when you do, it reaches more people. So please share the program at least once on your Facebook page, at least once. I want to start off with some positive stuff, and then we would go into our deliberations or conversation. So I want to start off with some positive stuff. I want to start off firstly with the folks in Carriacou. All right. The Guyanese, they're doing a wonderful job in Carriacou.
There was an initial team to do an assessment. It was 3 officers and 5 other ranks. The 8 of us were here, and we did the initial assessment of what would be required for the various projects. When we came here, the projects that were identified for us was the Carriacou Police Station and the Carriacou Revenue and Post Office building. And we had recognized this area here, which we will stay and we will operate from. And by virtue of being here, this was also one of the projects that we would have been upgrading or repairing per se. However, apart from these 3 projects, we've had an additional project added to us, which is the Minister's office. I think we moved to the Minister's office, the Minister of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, his office. So we now have 4 projects that we're actively working on. We have done the most work so far on the police station and the Revenue and Post Office building, and we've recently started the Minister's building roof, because that was only added to our work last week. I would say that the island has made a lot of progress since. When we got here, there were hardly people around. You could have literally counted the amount of persons who were traversing the streets and moving around. It was basically us and the police and a few essential personnel, like the persons from Sideru and Nadma were moving around, and most of the shops and the business place were closed. Over the past 4 weeks or so on, we have seen a relative amount of normalcy being returned to the island. I think probably, if you ask me, I would say like about 70%. And in response, when we got here as well, things were as they were just after the hurricane. But now, between the past 2 weeks, there have been a lot of cleaning up taking place and so on, right? I admire the resilience of the people of Carriacou, because some people, their entire homes were destroyed, and they still had somewhat of a positive demeanor. You don't see much depression and anguish in people, and they of course welcome us and express the gratitude.
Yes, so thanks to the government and people of Guyana. I love that piece. At least they're at it. And when he spoke about the minister's office, he's referring to the main office for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So it's not just the minister's office, but you have different officers there, different departments and so on. I think that is where the permanent secretary uh, operates from, and other senior officers. That is where they operate from. So again, thank you to the government and people of Guyana. And that's really positive news. And that is what we want to hear as we move forward. I want to share with you another positive piece regarding Project Pristine in Carriacou.
During the news, the Grenada government has launched an initiative aimed at managing the significant amount of waste generated by Hurricane Beryl in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Project Pristine will be spearheaded by the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority with support from the Ministries of Climate Resilience and Infrastructure Development. The project was officially introduced during a media briefing on Thursday morning. Assistant Communications Officer of the Solid Waste Authority, Nikolai Boyk, described the project as a multi-sector collaborative effort focused on the collection, storage, and disposal of waste. Temporary collection sites have been identified to facilitate the separation of the waste, and the project is set to run for an initial 3-month period. Boyk provided details on the operational process.
The Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, in collaboration with the stakeholders involved, have established temporary debris storage sites. And I'd like to stress on the word temporary debris storage sites. This will be 5 playing fields in Carriacou and 1 in Petite Martinique. These storage sites will be used for the processing of certain waste types. There are certain waste types which I mentioned. These waste types, they have some value to them, such as the metal waste. This will either be crushed or strapped and shipped off island, Carriacou and Petite Martinique, to mainland Grenada, which will be sent out for recycling purposes. The green waste, that's the tree limbs and the branches, this will pass through an industrial wood chipper where it will produce mulch, what we commonly call black gold compost, which can be used for agricultural purposes. It can also be used to enhance the aesthetics of your surroundings or put into potted plants. And this must not be mistaken with the treated lumber and the painted boards. Yes, you might say they're board, they come from trees. However, there are chemicals in them, so this will not be mixed with the natural green waste. Instead, the construction and demolition waste which they fall under, this can be used for construction projects such as backfilling. And obviously, we have the hazardous waste types, certain hazardous waste types which we have to account for. This will be sent to the landfill where it will be properly processed or disposed of. Right. For this project to be a success, the government of Grenada has contracted 7 teams in Carriacou and 2 in Petite Martinique. These teams are divided into zones, which will stretch from the northern, the southern, the eastern, and western parts of both Carriacou and Petite Martinique. And they will be engaged in the cleanup process, the collection process, and the transportation of these items to the temporary debris storage sites.
Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Tevin Andrews, expressed satisfaction in the launch of Project Pristine, noting that waste collection and removal have long been significant challenges on the sister isles.
Yes, so again, that's a good thing, very, very good thing for the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. And look, the opposition forces, they will still see nothing is being done in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. In fact, they have increased or intensified the attacks on the Honorable Tevin Andrews and the people who are in Carriacou working to bring back Carriacou and Petite Martinique to at least some semblance of normalcy. In fact, the NNP, they have gone into full campaigning mode. They're using the passage of Beryl and the devastation caused, the situation there, as a way of exploiting, right? Exploiting it for political mileage and to get ahead politically. So they are not interested in helping the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. All they are doing is condemning, criticizing, talking bad about what's happening in Carriacou and politicizing everything and turning this thing into a political mess. But that is what the NNP and the surrogates are good at, and we are seeing them intensifying that. In fact, if you listen to their programs, it is all about Carrico and P.T. Martinique and condemning, criticizing, and seeing how they can make political mileage out of a crisis. It is really sad to see that a political organization, in my belief, can exploit a crisis like this. It is really, really sad. At this point, let me again play something positive, because there are a lot of positive things happening. A lot of positive things happening out here. We have some new doctors who just graduated in Cuba.
Grenada's healthcare system is on track to improve with the appointment of 6 Grenadian doctors. They are Dr. Amy Pascal, Dr. Rochelle McIntyre, Dr. Indra Lambert, Dr. Linnell Parrott, Dr. Khalid Courtney Thomas, and Dr. Asnon Bain. Notably, Dr. Pascal and Dr. Lambert both graduated with special honors from the University of Medical Sciences of Gramma, Cuba, among numerous other Caribbean professionals on Tuesday, July 23rd. His Excellency Glenn Noel, Grenada's ambassador to Cuba, and Ms. Yanette Silvera, the Assistant Secretary with responsibility for student affairs, was among the attendees. For the past 47 years, the University of Medical Sciences of Gramma has played a historic and significant role in developing regional healthcare infrastructure and delivery systems by training hundreds of healthcare providers and professionals from the region. Since the establishment of diplomatic and bilateral relations between Grenada and Cuba, more than 400 professionals have benefited from training in Cuba, with over 160 being in the medical field. Specifically, 11 have graduated from the University of Medical Sciences of Gramma. Today, Cuba stands as the most strategic partner and largest contributor to the development of the health sector in the region. Many Cuban-trained health professionals now form the backbone of the healthcare systems in several Caribbean countries, including Grenada.
Yes, thank you very much there. So that's good news, very, very good news for the healthcare sector or system in Grenada, Carrico, and P.T. Martinique. And still, the NNP and their surrogates will say nothing is happening in healthcare. That is what they do. They believe by being negative. They believe by having 9 or 10 talk show programs or podcasts and the pundits saying all kinds of negative things, misleading the population, they would get back into power. That is what they believe. But the Grenadian people are smarter. So we look forward to the new doctors taking up their positions within the healthcare system.
They announced a post-Hurricane Beryl relief income support to farmers and fishers throughout Grenada, amounting to $11.6 million. Minister for Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources, Honorable Lennox Andrews, outlined the plan during a media briefing with Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell and Minister for Finance Dennis Cornwall. The initiative, which will be spearheaded by his ministry, will provide essential income support and, to a large extent, resources to farmers and fisherfolk affected by the hurricane. It follows a damage assessment undertaken by the ministry, which revealed that over 85% of Grenada's agriculture, especially in the parishes of St. Mark, St. Patrick, and St. Andrew, was severely affected.
Registered farmers with less than 5 acres of land will receive a one-off payment of $4,500. Registered farmers with more than 5 acres of land will receive a one-off payment of $9,000. All other farmers who are not registered but have been assessed to have been damaged are eligible to receive the same amount in accordance with the size of their plots. So we have budgeted a total of $6 million in that regard, and we are targeting a total of 960 farmers. We also have the managers or the nursery plants owners. We have counted 30 of them, and they are going to receive a one-off payment of $4,500. So in total, we have a budget of $135,000 for these managers of plant nursery. So in total, the overall allocation for the cash crop farmers and the nursery plant managers is $6.1 million.
Fisherfolk and livestock farmers will receive material support amounting to $5.5 million.
Livestock farmers, those who are involved in pigs, rabbits, poultry, and of course the small ruminants, the sheep and goat producers, will be assisted with supplies such as fencing materials and repairs to pens. The apiculture producers, the bee producers, will be assisted with supplies such as boxes, extractors, suits, frames, wax sheets, and there has been a request for quality bees as well, which we are considering. I wish to add that some of these supplies we have already received from the Chinese corporation, which we're going to distribute, but we will also ask our local suppliers to either import these items or have them, in some cases, as in the case of the boxes, have them produced locally. For the fisher folks, the assistance will take the form of repairing your boats and your engines, and if necessary, purchasing new engines.
CMOS farmers will receive supplies such as rope, floats, and drying houses. To ensure efficient processing of payouts, the ministry is requesting banking details, NIS information, and a farmer's ID to facilitate a smooth and seamless procedure. Minister Andrews also provided updates on the supply component of the relief measures.
For the fisher folks, if it's the case of an engine to be replaced, based of course on the assessment, you will be provided with a voucher to collect the engine from a local supplier. The ministry will pay the local supplier directly. Where repairs are to be done to the boat or to the engine, the ministry will enter into a contract with local companies or individuals to have your engine or your boat repaired, and we will pay them directly. For the CMOS producers, we are also going to give you a voucher so you can collect your supplies from our local businesses. For the livestock, again, all the livestock producers, you will be given a voucher or you can go to a local firm to collect the items that will be stated on the voucher. Again, the ministry will pay the local firm directly, and if there is need for any labor costs, the ministry will also cover the labor costs.
These incentives are in addition to the ministry's ongoing land clearing program, which has been operational for over 5 weeks, where nearly $200,000 worth of equipment has been acquired to support farmers affected by Hurricane Beryl.
Yes, and still the NNP and their surrogates will tell you that nothing is being done, that the government is not doing X and not doing Y. You can expect that. They're always negative when it comes to the government. They're not interested in the positive stuff. So things are happening for our farmers and our fishers throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And that's a really good thing. That's a good thing. I want to also say to you that the government uniform and school supplies program that has commenced.
Of beneficiaries under the government's Uniform and School Supply Program received their QR codes this week to facilitate back-to-school shopping. The program gives assistance to families with students in both primary and secondary institutions who are preparing for the new term. Government transitioned from vouchers to cashless transfers in 2021 and collaborated with a regional financial technology company to guide the process. Senior ICT officer in the Ministry of Education, Kate Dikoto, said the ministry dispersed the first batch of 700 codes this week to families following thorough evaluation of the applications from the various schools island-wide.
We are using the same digital solution as the last 2 years. That involves the generation of QR codes with assigned monetary values that will be sent to each beneficiary, right? That beneficiary will then use that QR code to obtain authorized products or school uniform supplies from the different vendors that we have listed, or the authorized vendors. Now, this QR code is sent via text messages to the beneficiary's phone. You will find a message with a link. It has a URL, a link to a website. Pressing that link will then open up the QR code with the monetary value assigned to it. I want to encourage parents to screenshot the QR code so that if you do not have internet or data access when you're at the merchant, you wouldn't have problems accessing the QR code itself. A matter of fact, the QR code you must have internet access to access the QR code.
Families with students in primary schools have a limit of $250 and for secondary school a limit of $400, which vary based on the number of beneficiaries per household. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Aaron Francois, said special arrangements are being made for students in Carriacou and Petite Martinique as part of relief for families following Hurricane Beryl.
We are targeting under the program to provide all our students there with support. And so Carriacou, we are beginning to make the arrangement to roll out the program in Carriacou. So shortly you would hear Carriacou would hear more about the program. But the intention is to give all the students, and given the level of devastation, damage that Hurricane Beryl caused there, the government has decided that we are going to support all the students there in terms of getting supplies, school supplies, and uniform assistance.
Consultations were held with more than 30 merchants or vendors from various parishes who will provide supplies for the program this year. Dikoto outlined what can be purchased using the codes.
The list of uniform supplies that can be obtained from the approved vendors or merchants in category, we have uniform items such as pants, shirts, shoes, skirts. We have paper products such as book covers, coloring books, copy paper, drawing books, exercise books, notebooks, writing supplies, your pen, your pencil, your crayon, stationery and office supplies like your erasers, your rulers, school bags and lunch bags, lunch kits, technical stuff, tools such as calculators, geometry sets, T-squares, even sewing supplies such as buttons, fasteners, ribbons. All those can be obtained from the approved merchants.
Yes, and that's a very good thing. I love the fact that emphasis is placed on the students from Carriacou and Petite Martinique. All the students of Carriacou and Petite Martinique will receive assistance under this program. And still, the NNP and their surrogates will say that nothing is being done for the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique or Grenada on a whole. That is how the NNP will put it. The surrogates, the pundits of the NNP. But I want to commend this government on the way they're going about assisting the people of Carriacou, Petite Martinique, and Grenada. Because you see, we are about to go into the peak of the hurricane season. So while the NNP and their surrogates and pundits are out there talking about all kinds of stuff, why then build this temporary this and temporary that and give people this and give them that? We are now approaching the peak of the hurricane season. And who know, well know, September is really the peak. The latter part of August into September. I can tell you. So you have to still be cautious. Yes, you want to do certain things, you want to rebuild, you want to help the people, but you still need to be very cautious in how you go about doing that. Very, very important indeed.
Businesses affected by Hurricane Beryl will have access to a financial opportunity as government rolls out a $25 million business reactivation fund. The facility, administered through the Grenada Development Bank, GDB, is designed to support the recovery efforts of businesses in the form of concessional loans and grants. Finance Minister Honorable Dennis Cornwall told members of the media on Wednesday about the facility.
Our government will transfer each $25 million to the Grenada Development Bank to establish a business reactivation fund for businesses affected by Hurricane Beryl. These funds will be disbursed as part loan, part grant. The interest rate will be highly concessional. Financing provided will support construction, the purchase of capital goods, and working capital needs.
The Grenada Development Bank will provide more information on this initiative.
Yes, that's a very good thing again. $25 million there for businesses affected by Hurricane Beryl. You can get a loan and also you will get a grant. So part loan, part grant. So let's say, for example, you apply for $100,000 out of that amount. Out of that $100,000, they may give you $30,000 as a grant. You don't have to pay that back, but you have to pay back the $70,000, and it would be concessionary. So it would not be at a commercial interest rate. It would not be 9%, 10%, and 11%, and so on. So again, just saying that's a very good move. If you ask me, a very, very good. And that's besides all the other, goodies and assistance given to the people of Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and those who are affected here in Grenada. You know about the free barrels program. You know about all the concessions and property tax waiver, and just name it. It's a whole list, and I'll talk to you about it momentarily. But let us continue with some of the positive things. I'm just coming back on the program, and quite a number of things happened in recent times. So we need to talk about them. All right? Let's look at the Moline project, land slippage project.
In the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, Kevin Blash says the Moline land slippage project is on schedule for the November completion. The rapid movement of the soil forced the closure of the road in 2019 and the relocation of a few residents and business directly affected by the landslide. Work on the multi-million-dollar project started in 2022. Blash explained that construction of the concrete structure to protect the land from further slippage is complete, and contractors will soon construct slipper drains and repave the road to make it motorable to the public.
We are nearing the end of the tunnel, so to speak. So we are still on course for November completion date. The concrete structure to re-establish the road that was that would have slipped down the hill since the start of the landslide has been completed. All that is being done now to that structure is the casting of the approach slab. That is due to happen sometime over this coming weekend, and we are hopeful that that should be done without any hindrances from the weather also. The remaining works to be completed is the construction of slipper drains on the either side of the landslide, and then finally just the repaving or the reinstatement of the asphalt that would basically complete the project.
Motorists are encouraged to continue using the bypass access through Mount Morris.
The road is technically motorable, but we've limited it to just to traffic relating to the project. So for example, just for the logistics of the concrete trucks that have to pour concrete in the area and so on, those are the vehicles that are able to traverse.
Right. That's very good. Remember, the NNP was talking about this particular project, but they never started the project. The NDC came into power and started the project and will complete the project sometime in November. So that is really good because on the western side, this project is very, very important. This would cut the time you would take to go up to Mount Morris and come down in somewhere in Happy Hill, I think. You would bus out somewhere in Happy Hill. It would cut that time by more than half. All right. So again, it is a very, very important project. So I'm happy to see that it is coming along very well. And I want to big up Mr. Blash. You're doing a fantastic job, sir. Continue doing your work. All right. Nice. I like that. I like to see that this project is coming on nicely. Because the NNP, boy, they were just talking. And in fact, I must say to you, the NNP is already taking credit for the project. Huh? So the NDC is doing the project, but the NNP is already taking credit for the project. It is not yet completed, but they're taking credit for it already. But it's not surprising.
Agriculture and the National Training Agency have signed a memorandum of understanding to offer vocational training to 100 young people through the Young Entrepreneurs, Farmers and Fishers in Agriculture and Agribusiness project. Launched in February 2023 and funding by the Caribbean Development Fund, it is a 3-year project with an estimated cost of $1,338,500. One of the primary goals is to provide certified training to individuals aged 16 to 35 within the industry. The signing of the MOU on Thursday marks the official commencement of a 4-month Level 2 Caribbean vocational training program, which will cover areas such as agribusiness management, innovation and modern production technologies, marketing and quality management, and entrepreneurship. Isaac Bagwan, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, highlights that this initiative, which costs $219,000, aims to foster a more innovative and food-secure agricultural sector.
The selection of the participants, as I was mentioned before, we targeted at least 100 young persons up to the age of 35. So we do expect the persons who are presenting themselves and those who are involved that if they do not have prior learning experience, then we'll be able to do what is required to bring them up to speed so that they could participate in the program and, of course, to be certified at the various levels so that they can move forward in terms of building their own capacity and building in terms of if that is a career that they would follow in this regard. So we're happy at this point. Again, I want to again express my appreciation for the collaboration with the NTA in terms of the execution of the project.
The training is set to commence in September 2024. Marlene Finlay, CEO of the Grenada National Training Agency, confirmed that the project aligns with the agenda to transform the agricultural sector.
Food security of our nation could only be sustained in an environment that supports continuous learning and training in the agricultural sector. In fact, this partnership could serve as a model for other projects in the region that seek to attract youth involvement in agriculture at the professional and business levels, with a view to broadening and strengthening the productive capacity of the sector in a more sustainable manner. Through the signing of the MOU, the NTA proposes to oversee the training and certification of at least 100 agricultural entrepreneurs, as was said previously. And the expectation is to create a cadre of competent, innovative, enterprising, and entrepreneurial workforce that will begin to move agriculture to the next level in the areas of agribusiness management, modern technologies, including agro-processes and processing and value addition, marketing and quality management, and the use of digital technology in agriculture. The NTA is ideally positioned to provide support for the implementation of all technical and vocational training in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique.
Project Manager for the Young Entrepreneurs, Farmers and Fishers in Agriculture and Agribusiness Project, Cindy Lewis, notes that participants will gain skills to effectively manage human relations and address various life and work challenges.
Yes, so again, that's a very, very good move there by the government of Grenada. And the NNP and their surrogates will still tell you that the NDC has not done anything new. They have not introduced any new programs. They have not done anything. So you have 100 young entrepreneurs or young men and women who will receive training in agriculture. The NNP will still be out there telling you nothing is happening. Just like the 100 creatives who got scholarships at CC to receive training there to be certified. They still tell you, man, nothing is happening there. So again, I want to commend the government of Grenada for investing in young people, investing in the future of the nation, investing in the future of the nation.
Creative Economy and Culture, Senator the Honorable Adrian Thomas has commended the Grenada Tourism Authority and partners for their commitment to the installation of the underwater sculpture park near Jacadon Island. A date has not yet been determined for the installation of sculptures. However, Senator Thomas said this will be a significant booster for visitor arrival to Grenada and anticipates the eventual return of normalcy to the sister isles.
Carriacou is one of the islands that we will be focusing on heavily, and it's a maybe our attempt is to make it the best in the Grenadines, and having a sculpture park in Grenada are the biggest sculpture park in the world and the best. To have Carriacou on the side of us, it will be fantastic. Unfortunately, Beryl came and we had to put it off, but we will be going ahead with it. We were very quick, the Grenada Tourism Authority was very quick in telling the world that everything is okay in Grenada. Our ports are open. We are ready to do business, and our restaurants, our bars are open. And therefore, we will do all in our best to make sure that we assist the people in Carriacou, the hoteliers. We're calling on the insurance companies to do not procrastinate, to come forward and do what they have to do as quick as possible to get the hotels up and running, so that tourists will visit Carriacou soon and not too far in the distant future.
Senator Thomas said that a focus area will be that of developing the cultural products of the sister isles.
You must recognize, and I think it is important that we highlight, that Carriacou is a cradle of culture, and Grenada has to capitalize on that. I have visited many of the festivals this year, and I'm a little concerned in regards to the level of volunteerism that has been depended on to have those functions going. In the Ministry of Culture, we'll be trying our best to make sure that we put systems in place where these activities cannot be dependent on volunteerism anymore. We have to employ people and let them work on those festivals throughout the year so that they could develop the product, enhance it, and make sure that what we have some level of guarantee that what we advertise and what we promote is what people will get when they visit Carriacou. So Carriacou is high on the agenda. Unfortunately, Beryl came, and I guess most of the work that if we want to get it going in the next couple months in 2025, a lot of this work will have to be coordinated from mainland Grenada, because really and truly we have to empathize with the people of Carriacou in terms of what they are going through.
Yes, thank you very much there, the Honorable Adrian Thomas, Minister of Culture and also Tourism. All right, so big up your whole self there, my brother. I want to say to us that the government continues to do a fantastic job. I think the last fortnight for the debution program is out. I think they started this morning. Well, I saw a number of gangs on the road this morning. I wish them all the best. They've had a number of fortnights before Carnival and after Carnival, the back to school vibes, they normally give a fortnight or two. We hope that as many people as possible can get a bly, so to speak, contract or just a fortnight work on the road. A lot of people look forward to that every year, a number of debution fortnights every year. So we wish them all the best. That's the first year or the first time I realized the NNP is not criticizing or condemning this program too much because they are fixated on Carriacou and PT Martinique to make all kinds of confusion, to stir bacchanal and melee in Carriacou and PT Martinique. Because, the NNP is tribal. The NNP is all about confusion. It's all about melee. It's all about bacchanal. They're all about breaking up, tearing down, mashing up things. They cannot build. They're not innovators. They're not creators. They're not visionaries. They cannot put forward good recommendations or proposals or suggestions or nothing like that. They're all about condemning, criticizing, spreading misinformation with the hope that they would get back into power. They're going to just ride back into power because they believe that Grenadians are whatever. But I can tell them that the Grenadian people are smart. The Grenadian people are sensible. The Grenadian people are following keenly what is taking place in our country. That's very important. All people are becoming more involved. Do you know the amount of people who called me saying, Kem Jones, I'm not hearing you. What up? What's going down? I'm not seeing you online. I'm not hearing you on the radio. And I had to say to them, well, look, normally after Carnival, I would take a couple of days break from the program. Because around that time, people are pretty much in a festive mood still. A couple of days after Carnival, you have a lot of cool down fets, a lot of events like that. And who don't know, don't know. There are people who just come in talk show, world, and they believe that they can be on every night, every day, yapping, thinking that they are reaching people. But if you go and you check their numbers, you realize that they are not reaching many people. In fact, they're stuck at one place. You check out Sheldon Scott, for example. Check out Francis Pay. Check out Carl Keaton and Devon Romaine. Check out all of them. Igwe, right? Gates. He on some other thing that he has, right? Some other YouTube platform he has that fighting to survive. You check out Prince, whatever James or whatever his name. You just look at them. They're fighting. Their numbers is stagnant. Same place. People are not bothered with them. People are not even gravitating towards their message. And then you have Jenny. She does a once a week podcast. And once a week, there are people who are going to go and look and that kind of thing. But you have to bear in mind, for example, I do 2 programs every day. 2 programs. So 7,000 people might view my program on Facebook, 2,000 on YouTube during the morning time. And on radio, 4,000, 5,000 people, actual radio. And in the nighttime, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 might view the program. Same thing, right? But I do 2 programs. So there are people who are going to view the program during the morning time and not in the night. There are people who are going to view the program in the night and not in the morning. So it's just what it is. All right. And then we are on Vibes FM 101.3 and 106.3. We have more reach than the others. I think the only station that carries that boy, what's his name? Sheldon Scott NNP program is Real FM. As far as I know, Real FM don't have a big reach. Jenny is stuck on YouTube. That's where she focuses. So really and truly, they cannot touch this program. And we continue to spread our wings. In fact, sometime this week into next week, our system should be up and running in a big way. Vibes FM 101.3 and 106.3 FM, right? Vibes FM. Our equipment should be here, installed and ready to go. So you're going to feel the difference. You're going to hear our broadcast from many different places. All right, the reach, the quality. I mean, we are improving every time. So we did not make the disaster or the devastation, the damage caused by Beryl keep us back. Thanks to you, the good people who listen to this program, who follow this program, who gave towards getting us back to this point. All right, so we are really eternally grateful to you, the folks who gave generously towards this cause. I want to say to you, we saw from Saturday into Sunday, the government and people of Grenada, including the corporate world, the many business places, coming on board to make sure that the homecoming for our athletes who participated in the Olympic Games in Paris, that they were treated well and that they received a really good homecoming, well organized, well put. I want to commend the organizers. I want to commend, firstly, the government and people of Grenada, the Olympic Association or the Olympic Committee, all right, all the folks involved in athletics in Grenada. I want to commend you. I want to commend the Grenada Cooperative Bank, the Republic Bank, George F. Huggins and Company. I mean, look, you all have done a marvelous job. The Grenada National Lotteries Authority, or Grenada, Lotto. All right, Grenada Lotto, Grenada National Lotteries Authority. I think that is how it's called. I can recall marking down the number 282. All right, that's the vehicle number of Linton. Is it Linton or one of them? All right, I think it's Linton. I think so. Or Lyndon, not Linton, Lyndon. All right, that new vehicle, 282. So they did well. Kirani James, he received a good, right, so Lyndon, yes, so I got it right there. He received 100,000 US from the government and people of Grenada. We saw Lyndon receiving, he received 100,000 US too. And the other gentleman, the other athlete, what's the other gentleman? What is his name? There's another one. Was it Lyndon? All right, Lyndon Anderson, right. So Lyndon Victor, Anderson Peters. That's it, I got it. Anderson Peters. So we saw Kirani James, Lyndon Victor, and Anderson Peters receiving 100,000 US from the government and people of Grenada. Then we saw young Colemo and young Grisham and young Hazard receiving, I think they received 5,000 US, all right? And then we saw Coach Paul receiving 20,000 US. I stand to be corrected, but just watching the event or the live stream last night, I realized that they got a good payout there. Well, I wouldn't say payout, a good token of appreciation, because they deserve more. They should have gotten way more. But again, we're a small nation, and it was really good. It's a good incentive for the younger athletes, those who are in school or those who are in training. They can see that you can be well rewarded, you can be well recognized, and well respected too. The respect shown to the athletes, boy, I want to say to all those who are involved to take a bow, so it can serve as a good incentive for the younger athletes. You could make something out of this, right? You can serve, you can represent your country at the highest level, and your country will not forget you. Your country will not abandon you. And I want to commend the Grenada Cooperative Bank. Yes, we know King Kirani James, Ambassador Kirani James, the Jaguar. We know he has been the brand ambassador. He has been really a part of the Grenada Cooperative Bank family for quite a while. He received 125,000 EC dollars, and that is in cash. Huh? He received that there, and that's really good, from the Grenada Cooperative Bank. And then we saw the Republic Bank of Grenada. They gave Peters, Anderson Peters, 100,000 EC. And then the big price, so to speak, in my opinion, went to Lyndon Victor. All right? Lyndon Victor received a total of, I'm on my program, brother. All right? Sorry. Right, so Lyndon Victor, he received that brand new vehicle, costing, I think it was in the region of 170,000 EC. All right, 170,000 EC. That was good, and he drove that out there, packed it up nicely. It was really, really good. So I want to commend George F. Huggins and company. You did a wonderful job there, and we know he's your brand ambassador, but you really took good care of him. 175,000, right? So in the region of. So again, thank you very much. A friend corrected me and saying it's not just 170,000, but 175,000 EC. So that was really, really good. And I know in the coming days, more goodies will be bestowed on them. They will receive more recognition, more token of appreciation, and so on. We saw our Governor General, Dame Cecile Lagrenade, awarding them, from the King Charles, bestowing honors and a medal to Kirani James and Lyndon Victor, because Anderson Peters, I think, received that some time ago, based on what I heard there. So it was really good, and our Governor General, since this administration came into power, she has been very, very happy. Her smiles, her dance, her vibes, everything has been different, as though she was entrapped, as though she was, kept at a certain way during the NNP time. She just couldn't be, all right? She just couldn't be the person she is. Dancing, laughing, smiling, mixing, mingling, always warm. That is what you want, because it's a ceremonial position, all right? So you want that person to really ignite the Grenadian kind of vibes, always, all right? So I want to commend her. We are observing, and we're seeing that she's just extra happy. The Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, you're doing a fantastic job. All right, you're causing that you know, that energy, that vibes, that good feeling, that warmth, that joy, that love to ignite, to be real and to be apparent, to be visible. That is good. That is really, really good. Big up your whole self. I told you that the program is going on till 9:30 this morning. So if you want to call and say anything, you can. The number is 415-4817, 415-4817. That's the number to call if you want to get on the inside. All right? 415-4817. My good friend Frances Purcell out there in the United States. Well, I think she's here in Grenada. She wouldn't miss Carnival for anything. They're having, let me get it here. They're having a raffle. All right. The Grenada let me see. Grenada celebrates 50. They're having a dance, right? A dance and raffle. So dance the night away. Let me see. Right. So Sunday, September the 1st, 2024, 8 p.m. until, that's the Labor Day weekend. That's Sunday. All right. The 1st, Nazareth High School. That's East 58th Street between Clarendon Road and Avenue D. Cost $40. Dance the night away. Golden Jubilee. Enter your chance to win the raffle. Right? So they have a Nissan car, $2,000 plus $1,000. So they have a Nissan car, then they have $2,000, and then they have $1,000. So that's the three prices: a Nissan car, then you have 2,000 US, 1,000. Well, you know, in the United States, dollars, and $1,000. Music by top DJs, Jude and Magician. More information, if you want more information, all right, Miss Bess Mount Horn. All right, Miss Bess, you will call me momentarily. So if you want more information, let me just get that information here for you, the numbers. All right, so Nick, call Nick on 347-528-3038. Call Frances on 917-282-9405. Call Janice on 646-323-9523. Call Hazel on 917-658-4218. Call the Grenada Consulate on 212-599-0301. Call Peter on 347-729-5770. Call Rockin' G on 718-666-1110. All right? So that's the numbers you can call to get your tickets, to get, to be involved in this event. And I can tell you, I will be at this event. All right? So I will be at this event. So you can look forward to seeing me at this event on the 1st of September, Sunday, the 1st of September. All right? So I will be at this event most definitely, because I will be in New York around that time. All right? So I will be in New York around that time. So I will be at this event. You can look forward to that. So if you want to call, you can. The number is 415-4817, 415-4817. That's the number to call to get on the inside. I want to say to you also that what we have seen in the last 6 to 7 months is an increase in the amount of radio programs, in the amount of podcasts that the NNP and the surrogates have out there. They're going at it with the negativity. In fact, even Andal, this guy who has the supermarkets and so on, he's on some program on WFM with Michi. Well, we know where Michi stands politically. All right? He used to be around Oliver Joseph. I think he drove for him when Oliver was MP for St. David. And since from that time, he, flat on his face, right? He's on WFM doing his usual thing, blah, 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 blah. So Andal goes on there, and Andal is a bitter guy. He's bitter. He was involved with MNIB. I don't know if he was the chairman of MNIB. All right. He's a bitter, bitter guy. He's sour. So he's on that program too. Rah, rah, rah. The opposition forces. Opposition forces. And then you have the other programs. So you have, the opposition forces, so the NNP and the others. Opposition forces, they have, they have so many talk show programs, and they believe by having those programs, they will be able to spread the misinformation and get people to dislike the government or get people to support them. That is what they're hoping. They're hoping that they will get people on their side with all these different programs, but they're not successful. To date, they're not getting anywhere. And I want to urge our people to remain focused. I am happy that a number of people communicated with me saying that, look, they're here in Grenada and they're ready to register. So a number of people got registered over the carnival period, before the carnival and after the carnival. We have had some challenges in St. Patrick with the internet not being functional in the electoral office. All right. So we have had some challenges, but that would not stop the people, right? The 14 or 15 people who contacted me, who went into the electoral office Humpton on Humpton occasions, but they just can't get registered because the internet is down and so on. Or since after burial, it was never, reconnected or put back in that office, though there are people around who have the internet. So again, I'm urging the MPs, and I reached out to my good friend Joseph Andel, the Honorable Joseph Andel, and the Honorable Dennis Cornwall, to be on their P's and Q's, because things like that is very important. Making sure that the electoral office, bearing in mind that Carnival was, about to happen and people are coming home, all right, and they would stay back for a period of time. It was so important to get the internet there, because there are other places next door with the internet. So I want to urge those MPs to stay on top of the registration process. I am taking this serious because I understand how important it is, right? It's a numbers game. Getting more and more people registered is key. Very, very important. It is a numbers game. And so far, we have been dominating the registration process. We have been dominating that process. So as you come back home, I want to urge you to get registered so that you can participate in the election come whenever the election is called. All right? And we realize that they recognize that we are registering at record pace. Now they're asking you to show proof of where you live in, right? Proof of location or proof of residence. So if you're living in Belmont, for example, they would ask you to produce a bill. So, they know that folks overseas may not have a bill in their name, right? The only good thing is that they're asking you to produce a bill of the person where you're living. So you have no problem where that is concerned. That shouldn't be, because that is not a requirement. They just decide, well, they're going to add on that. But nevertheless, so they want a copy of that. So folks, if you're living in a particular area, the bill don't have to be on your name. You just have to walk with a bill where you live in, so they can, proof of address. I think that is what they want, proof of address. But we have been registering our people in record numbers, and I want to encourage you to do so. And if you go the first time, problems in the electoral office, go back the second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. All right? And please, if you having challenges, call me. Call me up. In fact, sometime in September, I would dedicate 2 weeks in September of updating my database. All right? So all the folks who got registered during the independence period, all right, I have some information. So I'll be updating that. So you're going to feed me with your name, your address, your polling division, where you're from. And if you got your ID already, your ID number, your phone number, your email address, your WhatsApp number, all that kind of information. So when it comes closer to the election, we can contact you and mobilize you and organize you to come back home so that you can vote in the election. All right. So I will dedicate 2 weeks for that sometime in September, if not September, early October. 2 weeks I'll dedicate that towards you calling in privately, of course, privately, and updated. So don't do that now. Privately, that will be done, but the program will be on, and I'll have 3 or 4 people here who I trust, because you know I am that kind of person. I operate solo, who I trust to update the database. So as you feed the information in, they would put it in, and we're going to dedicate the entire day and a couple of days to do that. All right. So don't worry. Be happy. Everything will be okay. So I'm really happy to see that we're continuing with the registration process, and we have to intensify that as we go along. Also, I want to encourage the MPs, and I'm in conversation with them, but you're out there and you need to know. I'm encouraging them to start the process of canvassing the voters list and going into the different areas within the constituency, house to house, getting to know who for them and who not for them. All right? Because as I did an analogy, if you have a cup, right? So maybe let me just play the music and get a cup or get a bottle of water to demonstrate that for you.
So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is putting more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Right. So just this analogy, if you have this bottle of water, and this is the NDC supporters, all right? NDC supporters, they got you into power. So maybe it should be about up here, for example, right? So they got you into power. So that's the NDC supporters. But if you want to fool the bottle, if you want more supporters, you want to reach up to this point, you cannot have this amount here getting less. All right? So you cannot take away. See, you cannot take away from the amount you have. You have to add. So you have to maintain the NDC base and the people who voted for you. And then you can work on the other people. And that's something that is missing. Many a times, you try to be nice with those NNP supporters and who you believe could turn and who you believe going to support you. So you give them X, you give them Y, you help them here, you help them there. And you forget that you have to maintain, firstly, your supporters. What you have here, you have to maintain that. Because if you don't, if this is less and you're fighting to fool it, then you would not be able to fool it. You have to maintain what you have. So canvassing the list of voters or those on the electoral list, right? and going into the different communities, walking house to house with you and your team, getting to know your supporters and adding them to your list. So you know for a fact in the 3,000 people who are registered, or the 4,000 people who are registered, or the 5,000 people who are registered, you know that you have 1,900 people for certain who supports you, right? Or who supporting you. And that's it. So that is what you need. You have that. But you know you need the next 300. So you maintain and then you add. You maintain and then you add. You maintain and then you add. That's very important. That's a simple analogy. You cannot want to treat these people here, your people, all right, in a kind of way and expect that you're going to maintain. You have to treat them nice, identify them, get to know them, treat them well, maintain, and then you add. Maintain, and then you add. And you can add by identifying the children who turn 18 so that they can go and get registered. You add. The folks in the diaspora who are supportive of the NDC and the government, and we control the diaspora. I can tell you that. I know. They love the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. They love the NDC. They love what is happening in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. So we can add by adding them. Because you know we're targeting 3,000. All right? 3,000. So we're targeting 3,000. So we trying to get 3,000 registered, and you know that's important, and we get in there. Don't be afraid. We get in there. All right? So remember, you maintain, then you add. You cannot add and lose what you have. So you cannot make this less. That's very, very important. So going out there, MPs, going out there, canvassing, knocking on doors, getting to know your supporters, getting to know the exact numbers, those who are sick, lending assistance, those who need housing assistance, those who need to be on the seed program, those who need a little debushing thing, those who need, support. Go there and assist them. And sometimes they just want to see you, hear from you, and know that you care. So that is important. So remember, maintain, add. Maintain, add. And I tell you, you can maintain. Maintain means the people who voted for you in the last election, you want to keep them. You want to make them happy. You want to make them energized and excited. And then the children who turn 18, you want them to register. The folks in the diaspora, you want them to register because that's your support base. And then you add, because if you get the children who turn 18 registered, then you add. If you get the people in the diaspora registered, then you add. And then there might be one or two NNP who might turn. And those in the middle, there are people in the middle who are not NNP, who are not NDC, who love the NDC, who love the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who love to see what they are doing. They're in the middle. All right? And you can add in that area. But you see, the NNP supporters generally, they had core. They are not going to change easily. See, for example, I give you an example of a person who will never change. Anne-Marie Eban. This morning, for example, on the Plead Your Cause program. Because what she's doing is a very tactical thing. She doesn't like the NDC. She doesn't want to see the NDC in power, in my belief. No. So she would play nice with the Honorable Andy Williams and talk about him nice and say, well, she's in contact with him and she could call him when and call him. That's how she does it. And then she would condemn Philip Tellisford. Then she would condemn the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. She would condemn the other ministers and the other people. She would belittle them. She would talk all kind of nasty things about them, in my belief. But that's how she operates. She would never change. That old piece of thing would never change. Never. So, Andy's my boy, and that would never change. All right? And I did speak to him this morning. I did message him and say, hey, brother, be careful with Anne-Marie Eben. She's not your friend. And she's not a friend of NDC or the party. Be very careful with her. She's a sword. She's a sword. She's dangerous politically, in my view. So I hope, normally listens. So I hope he takes heed from that. All right. So I'm only saying to you that the NNP supporters, they would never change. Never. I go around and I observe. I observe them. That is why you cannot be nice with them. I visited some of the VIP booths just to see some of the VIP booths during the carnival season. And a lot of NNP were dominating those VIP booths. In fact, I was so blue that I had to call on some of those ministers and say, hey, what's going on here? They're just living the life and they're enjoying the thing still. So there's no screening, no background checking, nothing like that. Of these people, they just get VIP and just come in and eating and drinking and having a nice time in those VIP booths. And they're so greedy. I could tell you that. In fact, you just revisit Tropicana. Man, by the time things don't even finish yet, they pack in food to go with. And I have to turn around and say, what's wrong with you all? Where this kind of greediness comes from? The greedy. The mass end finish here, they start to pack food in takeaway bowls and take away this to go with it. I had to use some obscene and say to them, you all are too damn greedy. But that's the NNP way. They glut, they greedy to pack bowl and pack this bowl. Right? So you have the VIP from Lotto, VIP from Spice, different VIPs. But I had, access to see. So I go and I visit and I check it out. They glut. But you cannot treat these people like that. This kind of royalty and so on. You can't. Because the minute time you do that, they become comfortable. And they're going to have more energy to sabotage you, to undermine you, to spite you. And that is what they have been doing. You cannot make your enemy comfortable. At no time. You cannot make your enemy comfortable. You have to make them uncomfortable. In politics, that is what it is. This is not a church thing. This is not some thing in some religion where you're going to church and you're playing nice with who. No. Politics has its own morality. It's different. But I realize that the NNP is an institution. And they have been in the system so long, they have institutionalized the thing. They're everywhere. I was taken aback, The NNP is everywhere you turn. You're seeing them, Even on the stage, I see some of them who commenting. They're commentators. NNP, solid NNP. In fact, one of them, the big one with the big chest. You know that one? Over the carnival, commenting. I can't remember the gender. I don't know if it's male or female, the big chest one. I understand, well, it's alleged that person is writing a script for a certain woman on a podcast. NNP, solid NNP to the core. I'm telling you. But they get in the blind to eat a food and to get money out of this whole thing. I'm telling you. So they're comfortable. Then you have one who introduced the old cock, the old Morocco during the election. He always on all them stage. He's MC. And the next one, MC, yeah. A whole pile of them. I watch me. People underestimate me, I observe all of these things. You had a total breakdown when it comes to knowing your people and getting your people in position. Because we have people on our side who are capable of doing the same thing. But no, you have certain people who are in charge of X, Y, and Z, and they get in the NNP supporters to get all the work and all the this and all the that. The cleaning work, the this work, the that work. That's what they're doing. So they're dominating everything. They're eating their food left, right, and center. There's an institution, They're getting their people to get all the work. And then the politician, who is the MP or the minister, because, they knew, they don't know who is who. Or they don't want to know who is who. Because they could get to know who is who. Huh? Don't fool yourself. They could get to know who is who. You need to find out. You could find out. People know. People know. So and it's a similar thing with the security contracts and so on that are being given out. There are a lot of NNP who are getting security contracts. And I know they're eating a food, they're surviving. They're surviving, and you can go into so many other areas where you have a lot of them eating a food, man. They're eating and they're continuing to live that kind of life. How would you then, right, solidify yourself and consolidate as an organization, as a party, and so on? How would you be able to do that when you have these people still living comfortably, living good? You crush your enemies politically. You crush your enemies, no matter what people say. You have to crush your enemies politically, because if you don't, what they would do, they would crush you and your siblings. Everybody that connected to you, they will crush them. You think if the NNP was in power, you could have seen an NDC person commenting, being a commentator on some carnival thing? You're mad or what? Which part? You think you could have seen some of the NDC people in VIP? No matter what, it could be Lotto VIP, Spice Mass VIP, whatever, government VIP. You think you're going to see that happen? You're mad. Which part? Where happening? You think you're going to see some of these people cleaning streets and doing this and doing that? Getting the contract to do that? Where? You're mad or what? Or getting the best booths or the best areas on the carnival, what do you call it? The specified route? You're mad. That would never happen. Never. I am saying to you, in politics, if you don't crush your enemies, they would not, politically, they would not only crush you, they will crush your siblings. Because, look, I give you a simple example. A lawyer friend told me, he said, boy, a certain man come to him to sort out some land, to do some land thing for him. And he said, when the man leave the office, he said, boy, that man take a lot away from my mother and my father, And his mother and father died, But the child, he became a lawyer, but in his mind, he's still studying what the man did to his mother and father, And he decided, he said, he do all what he's supposed to do to make sure that he mess them up. Yeah. So when they come in for you, they don't just come in for you alone, they come in for your siblings too. Because they know if you do something to the siblings, to the father or the mother, then the siblings will grow up knowing that, and they will come after your family and so on. Yeah, I'm telling you. So you have to understand what's going down politically. You cannot be a softy soft. You have to be hard and tough. You have to take decisive measures to achieve your goal. The minute time they realize that you're soft, they go take advantage of you. They go take advantage of you. I put your feet down. So I observed certain things over the carnival. I'm telling you, their NNP has institutionalized this thing. They have their people all about the police, even within the police force. You're seeing it. It's just obvious. You're seeing it, right? You just check it out. A lot of free tickets, giveaways, and so on. You're going straight to the NNP supporters. I go in one of those VIPs and I watch. I say, what's true? Little NNP boys, Little NNP boys who nowhere in the NNP ladder. Them and all in VIP getting free tickets, Free tickets and to eat and drink. And when you go inside those VIP, they're watching you uptight and upset. You know me. I don't really give a damn about these people, really. They can't do me anything, right? I different. But I'm telling you, they're watching you as though, hey, what you come and do here? NNP, Them NNP and them. We got to clean this damn thing. We got to drain this thing out. Clean it. We got to know our people. We have to know our people. There are ceremonies and so on. I see. Who you seeing up front? Them NNP, Them NNP. And they know how to play the game and get there. We got to clean this damn thing out. You mad or what? Where? In this politics, you have to understand the politics. The politics demands, and I give you the analogy again. This is the example. Maintain, add. Maintain, add. And if those NDC MPs take this simple analogy and work with it, nobody could beat them. You won the election, you got a number of votes, all right? Got a number of votes. So you won. That's it, okay? That's the amount. In that 5,000 registered voters, you got 2,600. That's it, yeah. 2,600. Okay? You maintain that. How do you maintain? How do you maintain that? By going down on the ground, taking some time every week, and you're visiting the houses in different areas. You map out your thing. You know you have 20 communities in your constituency. Maybe you have 9 polling divisions. So you say, this month, you're targeting this community, that community. And even if you not going, your foot soldiers must go. Don't have them stay in their house, cock up their leg on a couch, and take the voters list and just ticking. And say, oh, that is NDC, that is that dotishness. That's one of the most stupidest things you could ever do. Because people change. There are people who are aggrieved with you, who not pleased. They may have voted for you before, and they're not pleased of certain things. It's not that they're going to vote for NNP, right? They're just not happy. You need to go and engage them and get them to be happy and get them to be on your side again. You hear me? And there are people who are in the middle and they never express, they never tell you anything. You have to go and meet them to get to know where they stand with you. And there are some NNP who may have changed, very few who may have changed. And just be careful with them still. All right? But I'm saying that to say to you, you go house to house to house. You take your time. House to house to house. And you get the required information. And you have a database. These days, you could just walk with your tablet. Sort of the database in advance. And as you go about, you just phone number, email address, and all that kind of stuff. The needs of the people, basic stuff, comments, simple thing. And you walk like that. House to house to house. And folks, don't believe what I'm saying here. I am not explaining and expressing that with the same folks. Huh? Don't believe that, you know. We have a good rapport. And I'm explaining all of that too to them. Because you got to do that. To know how many people support you, you got to be on the ground. You got to be mixing and mingling. You got to go house to house. And you cannot wait for 1 year before the election or 2 years before the election. We are going towards midterm, half of the term, the 5-year term. So you have to be able to, do these things. You have to get out there. So I'm saying again, to know who these people are, who voted for you, you have to go down on the ground. Go down on the ground and engage people. All right? Very important. Go down on the ground and meet them. Because government is government. And government can only help you to win if you are smart enough to use government as a good tool to help your people. You got to be able to use. Remember, I give you a typical example. When Keith Mitchell was Minister of Works, that is where he got his popularity. That's where he got the opportunity to rise in favorability and so on, building roads and drains and this and that and all kind of stuff during that time. And even if they fired him, remember he got fired as Minister of Works under Howard Blaze. They knocked him out. All right? He still was so popular that he could get the leadership of the party and became leader of the NNP and then later voted in as Prime Minister. So you have to understand, you have to use the state, right? The government, use that to build your base, to build and help your people within your constituency. This thing is simple. That is what has to happen. But government cannot cause you to win or make you win, unless you're smart enough to use it to your advantage to cause you to win. Government by itself can help you to win. No. Nope. You have to be able to use it. So you have the debushing program. You have to make sure that your people get the contracts and the work. The housing repair program, same thing, make sure your people get. The seed program, put your people under the seed program. The back to school supplies and whatever program they have there now, right? The back to school, the uniform and school supplies program, make sure that your people get. Even if you're putting it in the schools, make sure that your people get still, that the children get. Remind them, go out and speak to them. All right? All the little special projects and house repair and all these different things. Make sure scholarships, opportunities, any opportunity that's available. People don't forget these things. People don't forget these things. So you have to put yourself out to make sure that your people in your constituency get those. So that's how you win. That's how you maintain power. That's how you keep a constituency. All right? So again, just saying, maintain what you have and add. But don't try to add and then you have those who you're supposed to maintain, that number going down because your people not happy with you. They're not seeing you, not hearing you. Nah. That's foolish. Make them happy. Keep them happy. Maintain, add. Maintain what you have and add to it. But don't tell me that you have families who voted for you here who need a road walk or who need some material assistance, and then they're seeing the next neighbor who's an NNP and who might be nice with you or playing nice with you, getting the contract, getting the materials, getting the seed, this, getting the that, what do you think they're going to do? They'll get vexed, they'll get angry, and you'll start to lose support from that block. Right? Maintain, add. Maintain, add. Very important. This is a basic formula to win. It's a numbers game. And the reason why I'm paying so much attention in getting the folks in the diaspora to register is because I understand it's a numbers game. I'm not even worrying about those MPs and members of parliament and so on in those different constituencies. You know? No, I going about this thing solo. Solo. The only person who might be aware of that more so would be the Prime Minister. Nobody else. Solo. Because I understand this thing to a T. I know what it takes to win. All right? I know what it takes to win. So again, maintain, add. Maintain, add. Maintain what you have. Make them happy. Reach out to them. Get to know them. Support them. Because you want them. They don't want you. You want them. You think they want you? They could vote for somebody else. You're the one who want them. Don't confuse yourself. Some people say, well, them NDC people, they don't come in. What's wrong with you? They don't want you. They could vote for somebody else. But you need them to stay in power, to keep your seat. You want, not them. So you have to reach out to them, connect with them, and make them happy. All right? And meet them where they are to support them. So, folks, this is basic. You don't need to be a genius to understand that basic analogy. And if all those MPs do what I just said, you can't beat them. You got to use the government, the resources of the state in a very smart way, a wise way to help your people, to maintain your base, to maintain. Look, in the lead up to the election, in the lead up to the last election, the NNP administration spent $50-something million giving who? Them liquor roads, liquor drains, liquor thing to bill and bill. Their supporters. They just didn't win, but they make sure that they give them a good food. You don't have to wait until the election to do it. It can be done before. You got to support your people. All right? Reach out to them. Help them in many different ways. There's a lot of work on the horizon. A lot of work. A lot of opportunities coming for our people. Carpenters, masons, contractors, plumbers, electricians, painters. A lot of work coming for you. In the next, from the 15th of September all the way through. Plenty work. Plenty of opportunities. That is why I want to encourage our supporters to take advantage of it. But our MPs need to look out for our supporters and our people. And there are some who are not happy. It's a good opportunity to make them happy. Because the minute time you give them a little contract here, there, and everywhere, they're happy again. They're good to go. All right? So you have to be tactical. Very, very tactical. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Take good care. I will be back with you tonight. I'm back on the program. I took a little break, carnival, and I took a 3 days or so break. I will be heading to the United States very soon for a period of time. And within that time, I will still have programs from the United States. So it will not change anything. All right? It will not change anything. It's just that the studio will be different. The setting will be different. But I will still be having programs while in the United States. So you don't have to worry about that. Good? So I thought I should let you know that. So I will be heading there for a period of time. Of course, quite a number of things to do while there, The diaspora is so key. And our largest diaspora block is in New York. Our largest diaspora block is in New York. Yes, we have folks in Miami. Yes, we have folks in New Jersey. Yes, we have folks in the other places, Georgia and wherever. All right, New Jersey and so on. But the largest block is in New York. So it's my hope to also go to Miami and go to other places. But let's keep doing what we're doing. Step by step, we're going to get there. All right? So I'll be back with you tonight. Starting from 8 in the p.m. 8 in the p.m. Take good care. Peace and love. And to those who promise or pledge their financial support to the program, because I was not on air, a number of them, they have not done so as yet. All right, so I want to encourage you, if you make a pledge to support the program, to keep things going, do so. Because when you don't, then the bills would not be paid as it's supposed to be paid. All right, and how I do it, when I do the pledge and I reach the amount required, I stop. So I want to encourage you, if you made a pledge, or if you're out there and you have not yet pledged to the program, because there are a lot of people who normally would pledge, they were not able to pledge month end gone. So it's a vast number of people who normally would pledge, who give financially to the program to keep it going. They were not able to do so last month, like meaning month end. That month end had gone there. And I'm still waiting to see if they're going to do it, right? So sometimes you wait until the 15th and so on. So you would have a shortfall here, there, and everywhere. So it's important. If you want to give towards the program, and the little that you give, it goes a long way to paying the bills and meeting the commitments. I have not yet completed paying the bills for month end gone as yet, because there are people who are still pending. So I'm saying you can WhatsApp me. My number is 1-473-415-4817. 1-473. That's the same number that's scrolling at the bottom of the program there. 1-473-415-4817. So that's my number. You can WhatsApp me and say, hey, well, I want to give a little towards the program to keep it going. You can send it via MoneyGram. You can send it via Western Union, or I can give you a Zelle, a number to just Zelle it. All right? I can give you the Zelle number, just Zelle it, and it's easy like that. 1, 2, 3. So again, it's important because there are a lot of people who normally would pledge and last, like the month end gone there. I'm still waiting. But there are some who are going to fulfill their pledge, some who just can't afford to do so. So again, saying to you, the program needs your finance to keep it going. Yes, I was not on air for the couple days there after Carnival. So maybe all that could have caused people not to, But again, I want to urge you to give financially to keep the program going. That's the only way we can do this program. If you don't, then the program will be off air. Plenty of people called. Hey, Cam Jones, how are you? Cam Jones, how are you? I see you. Okay, that's a good thing. Wonderful. Checking up on me. Right? I would have loved for the same amount of people to say, Cam Jones, boy, I have a little thing here for you, Hold a little thing. to keep the program going, to pay the bills, to meet the commitments. I would have loved that. Because without money, all right, without cash, this program cannot be on air. You could pray as much as you want. You could hug me as much as you want. You could tell me you're listening to the program and you love the program and it's nice and this and that as much as you want. Without money, this program is off air. Without money, this program is. And mind you, I am not being paid. I am not receiving a single cent from this program. I'm volunteering my time and effort to do this program. It's just to pay the bills and meet the commitments to keep the program. That's all. So I urge you to give to the program financially. You can WhatsApp me. Again, my number 1473-415-4817. Or you can just Zelle. You can just Zelle the money. I could maybe just put the Zelle information here. Glenroy, my good partner, Glenroy. I'll get the money easy, like 1 to 3 once you Zelle it to him. All right, let me just get it here. All right, Glenroy. Glenroy's number is kind of. I know there's a full 50 in it, right? Yes. So Glenroy, so you can Zelle to support the program, right? Zelle to support the program. Zelle to support the program. Zelle to support the program. So I think you need his name. So Glenroy Betel. All right, so Glenroy Betel. And all you need to do is just send me a message. Say, hey, boy, make him a Zelle, $50 or $20 or $10, whatever the amount, to Glenroy Betel for you, and I will get it. All right, because your name will pop up. His number is 1-718-450-4436. All right, so that's his number here. All right, so that's it here, and then I just not this one. All right, so just pin it there, right? So that's the number. You can Zelle it on 1-718-450-4436. So you can Zelle any finance to this number if you want to support the program, if you want to see the program continue, because there are people who are custom given. Some months they can't, some months they could. So I want to encourage you to give financially to the program. You can Zelle it to this number and I will get it. Immediately as you Zelle it, I will get it. And you can WhatsApp me, the number below, all right? Number below, 415-4817. That's 415-4817. You can WhatsApp me on that number, so you can send it MoneyGram or Western Union. It's up to you, all right? It's up to you. But I urge you to support the program financially to keep it going, because that's the only way we can keep it going. We have to pay the bills, all right? And on a monthly basis, it requires within the region of $8,000 to $9,000 to keep things going. And imagine, I am not being paid 1 cent to do this program. I'm volunteering my time and effort. In fact, if I was paid to do this program would be off air by now. All right? So again, urging you to give towards the program. Nice. So I'll be back with you tonight.